They're still alive. Ooh. Welcome in to the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Shane Diefenbach, joined as always by my boy Johnny. How we doing?
We did what we do. We are winners. The Cardinals are winners, and we won on Thursday Night Football. And we absolutely did not sweat it out when that onside kick was kicked in the late fourth quarter. But no, it was a nice breathing room ahead of Minnesota 10 days from now. And I didn't win a ton of money. I did win some, and I hope you did too. And we're going to get to that.
Yeah, I did okay yesterday. I had a lot of NBA action out and survived. I didn't die by the hook again. I had a good beat again last night. I've just been getting so lucky this week. I'm really scared for what's to come. Before we get into our picks, I do just want to say what happened. Clippers, Lakers, 5.5 was the spread.
You had Westbrook over props. Is that what you're
yeah, all of them. Get feet injected. I had the Clippers minus 5.5. They were leading basically the whole game. They got up by 4, and they got up by 6, and then the Lakers cut it to 4. And with 37 seconds to go, the Lakers opted not to foul down 4, which I'm like, what are we doing? Right. And of course, the Clippers wasted the entire clock, and the Lakers got the ball back with 10 seconds to go, and they just chucked up a 3. It airballed, but Robert Covington getting the rebound was pushed from behind. Clippers in the bonus. 2 seconds left, nails both free throws. Austin Reeves dribbles the clock out with 2 seconds to go. Cha-ching, cha-ching. So sometimes you live by the hook, sometimes you die by the hook, and you just gotta really embrace those moments. But we're talking NFL today, and the Arizona Cardinals did play last night. Their defense played well. Their offense looked better. Johnny, just from a very outside perspective, bird's eye view of this offense, are we confident?
First of all, how dare you? I'm an insider. But yes, I feel like. Listen, the scheme is what it is. It's not good, and so you need the talent to take over, and that man is DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray is the most valuable player on the team. DeAndre Hopkins is the best player on the team. He is their best player, and kudos to Cliff Kingsbury, because after a slow start, if you watch the first quarter, they didn't get him the ball early enough, and he finished the game with I think 14 targets and 10 receptions. That needs to be the formula moving forward. I'm not okay with ever losing games, but especially if you're not going to feed DeAndre Hopkins. So I think that progress was made. I said it on the postgame show last night, Shano. The defense, we've seen some really high highs, 2 pick sixes. I think the running game with your boy Eno has come a long way. It's about the passing game. Can the Cardinals fix their passing game? And if they take marginal steps every week, they will be in contention for a playoff spot. But if they sputter and they go backwards like they did against Seattle, then, who knows? My biggest kind of takeaway, though, is if they have DeAndre Hopkins against the Seattle Seahawks and against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they don't screw around with their kicker situation, they probably win one, if not both of those games. So if you're looking for a glass half full, that's the best I can do for you. But DeAndre Hopkins, last point I'll make, do $30 million next year. A lot of people, myself, got cute this offseason. Maybe they won't pay. He's been suspended. He's been hurt. I'll go ahead and guarantee that money today. We'll guarantee that bitch right now.
Yeah, he is just a difference maker. And he wasn't just lined up on the right side of the ball.
They moved him around.
They moved him around, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And, Bradley Roby getting hurt, that secondary was so depleted. But props to Kingsbury somewhat scheming him open on something. I know it's DeAndre Hopkins and he's always open, but the play calling wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. The Cardinals offense going into this game had the 27th ranked pass DVOA, which you don't need to know what DVOA means. You just need to know that's not very good. So hopefully this can turn around. I think it will. I think the bright spot, though, is that you started to see this team be able to run the ball a little bit. Obviously, the tackles are a problem. You can't really throw the ball deep on double moves with these tackles. But if you can keep these teams honest and get players out of the box or get players in the box because you are, running the ball well, it's going to open up a lot more. And then you can get cute with your Rondale Moore screen passes. But until then, let's just stick to the running. It'll
never be cute. It'll never be cute.
Let's look at our picks from yesterday. Johnny, we'll start with you. How'd you do?
So my props, not great. Kamara was really shut down. He had a nice first possession, then they
You
didn't
almost
go
had a
back
reverse parlay. That would have been great.
Yeah, that's funny. No, none of these hit. Are you kidding me? It is a reverse. Hopkins didn't score. Kamara didn't
Hopkins
score.
got the over on receiving yards.
Oh, that's right. D-Hop first TD score. Some dirt McSkirt that was plus 4,000 scored the first touchdown. So
hey,
don't
throw dirt on Shaheen's name.
Here's the problem. I typically don't bet on the Cardinals prop wise, get money line wise, but when they're in prime time, it's the only game I have to, and it's hard for me to take away and be objective. So I have that one kind of caveat, and so I did make a little bit of money using the DraftKings, as did producer Leah. What your team, the money line hits if your team goes up by 7 and 8 point. And no matter if you bet on the Saints or the Cardinals, that hit. So hopefully people made some money off of DraftKings with that.
Yeah, we'll throw up my picks from yesterday. I took the Cards spread -2.5, and I took the under. We'll talk about the under in a second. But I went pretty big on the Cardinals spread because it just felt like, D-Hop is going to add something. Love DraftKings to death, but all books can't really account for team variance and what's going to change week to week when it comes to players coming back or players, especially like injuries or suspensions. You just don't know what the scheme is going to look like. So I thought, this would make a big difference, and it did. But I was worried at first, man. I got real scared. So thankfully they pulled it off. The under was just, whoa, my God. I mean, those two pick sixes blew it open, but still, Andy Dalton. I got to throw shade at two people real fast. One of them is myself, because I called Sean in our fantasy league. I was playing him this week in our PHNX fantasy league. He was starting Jameis Winston. Being a good sport, I called him and said, hey, Jameis isn't starting tonight. Start somebody else. And so he put in Andy Dalton. And our league is so stupid that if you complete long touchdown passes, you get a bunch of points. Andy Dalton put up like 50 on my head after what I did. So I don't believe in karma, and I think it's fake, and I hate it. I'm so sad that happened. And I also want to throw shade at the one and only Bo Brock. For yesterday on the fantasy show, I said, take everything Olave overs. He said, no, he's not he's the number one receiver. Byron Murphy's going to shut him down. He went for like 100 plus yards.
I would have said the same thing. The Cardinals secondary had been playing well, and I took the Andy Dalton under. Here's the thing, though. Thursday night, as we get later into the season, and this is important for everybody to remember when you're betting on ththese games, the first month was an outlier because teams are fairly healthy. When the grind of the season starts to take hold, and we're seeing it now, and we're midway through the season, 3/4 of the way of the season, teams don't practice for Thursday night football. Teams don't want to tackle. We saw the Cardinals just give up defensively in the second half. They're just trying to get the hell out of there with a win. So I think overs are going to slowly start to creep back, especially on Thursday night. I think this is the snowball effect. Yeah. Pugs and hugs in the chat saying, you won your first bet. Congratulations. Let us know what it was.
Let's go. Turn me up. My props went 1 for 2 as well. Obviously, D-Hop smashed through that, going over 100, and then Kamara did not get in the end zone, even though he should have. Whatever. Won't take it. So 2 for 4 on the day. Not bad. It's time to get back into peak performance this Sunday. We got a just disgusting, just gross slate of games, and I wouldn't want it any other way. And the best place to bet on gross games or good games, but usually gross games, because that's what the NFL wants to give us, is on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. There's no better place to bet on the NFL, and there's no better place to bet on the NBA. Pugs and hugs, your first bet you won was John Wall over 15 points.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
That is the most PHNX bets thing I've ever heard. Pugs and hugs.
Put that on a t-shirt.
I salute you. Yeah, put that on a cheat shirt. John Wall over 14.5 points. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use that promo code PHNX, and when you do, you can bet just $5 on any NBA team to win their game. Get $200 in free bets instantly if they do. You can also use the stepped up same game parlay feature. If you add more legs, the more money you can win. I had one last night. Everybody tailed, and it collapsed in the first half when they scored over 28.5 points. So everybody at PHNX that tailed me, I'm sorry. But hopefully you didn't throw too much money on it, because, it's just for fun. But that's why I love the DraftKings steps up same game parlay features, because you don't need to risk a bunch of money to win big, because you can add a bunch of legs and have some fun. So download it today. Promo code PHNX. It's promo code PHNX on the DraftKings Sports. We got minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See those show notes for more details. Oh boy. Go ahead.
I feel really good about my picks this weekend, much better than I did about my picks yesterday. I think there are some gross lines that we're going to have to take a big glass of water to get the pill down to swallow, but it's worth swallowing because there are some teams in this league that are done, that are already done, that are looking ahead to next spring, and that are piecing off players. And we'll get into the McCaffrey trade now. I think is the best transition for that.
So obviously, I think the trade was a second, a third, and a fourth. Am I wrong?
And a fifth.
And a fifth. So 2nd through 5 picks for McCaffrey. Just sugar and salt and a couple nickels.
Give me your take on it first. I can tell you why you're wrong.
Well, first of all, I think I wouldn't have done this for anything more than a second and a third. I think adding those extra 4th and 5th picks, even though it's a 4 and 5, is stupid. But when you can make a trade for a guy as dynamic as McCaffrey in an offense that's already dynamic, I saw a great tweet last night. They said the Niners are going to line up with Debo and McCaffrey in the backfield and throw the nastiest wheel route to Kyle Juszczyk you've ever seen. I see stuff like that happening. Look, he's going to create a lot of attention, but it's a lot. 2 through 5 might not sound like a lot, and McCaffrey obviously getting older. I think the only team that's not mortgaging their future is the Cardinals and the Seahawks right now. So in the NFC West, it's looking good. Am I wrong?
Well, no, you're not wrong. What I will say is that if this is the media bias for the Niners, we're seeing it to full effect. Now, there have been some people that have been brave enough to call this out, which is just a garbage trade. But most people are like, oh, my God, Kyle Shanahan, you did it again. They have spent a mid-round pick, a second or a third-round pick on a running back in like 3 consecutive drafts. Elijah Mitchell's been their best one. He was a 6th-round pick. It's 2022. You're giving up multiple day 2 picks, premium picks for a 26, soon-to-be 27-year-old running back that makes $19 million. That's injury-prone. Just say it out loud. This is not Von Miller 2.0. He is a pass rusher that impacts games. That was a rental for a team that was already stacked en route to a Super Bowl. There is a good chance that they're 3-4 after this weekend. Now they still could make the playoffs. I think the roster is loaded, but they are hampered by a average quarterback, and then their team historically gets beat up. And now they're adding a running back who also has an injury concerns. He played like 3 games 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and I get it. He's not going to be the focal point in your offense. You can go all in, that's fine. But the Rams, the reason they get lauded is because it worked out. We would be crushing the Rams had they given up what they did for Von Miller and they got bounced in the first round.
So that's
ignorance by the Niners.
That's the thing. You win the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, nothing matters. But is it going to be enough? And we'll see. I don't hate the trade and I don't love it right now. Obviously. I love it
for Carolina. You look at the landscape of the NFC, and Zeke can't go for a ham sandwich because of his salary. And you flip a running back for a 2nd and a 3rd round pick and a 4th and a 5th. Kudos to that GM's trying to save his job. I'd sell off all my parts. They're going to get the kid from Alabama 1st overall. Carolina's got to be feeling good about themselves. It's a running back. And you're giving up a 2nd and a 3rd round pick for a running back.
Yeah, I mean, the only pushback I have for you on that is it's not just a running back. It's a guy who's shown that he can impact games.
This is Trent Richardson to the Colts 2.0.
I get what you're saying, but McCaffrey's
media love that one too.
A generational talent, and if I think it's worth it right now.
If he can start to win games. Coming out. Oh, it's week 11. The card's coming out. Christian can't walk. He's got a quad.
100%, Johnny. I get what you're saying, but it's not just completely mind numbing that this trade happened. I got a feel for DJ Moore though. Just sitting there like, can I go somewhere now, please? Please, can I go somewhere?
If the Packers had a real front office and a real franchise, they would go and offer multiple picks. They used a 1st round pick or the top 30, 40 pick on Christian Watkins. He's not going to play this week. It's a disaster. The Packers, if the Packers had any stones, they go make that trade.
Make your prediction right now. Where does DJ Moore end up?
Nowhere. They don't trade him, probably.
Really?
Because he's going to be catching passes from what's the Bama's quarterback's name?
Bryce Young.
He's going to be catching passes from Bryce Young. I would rather keep DJ Moore than Brian Burns at this point. Burns has got money coming up to him. You could get,
Derek
I think,
Brown might be moved too.
yeah, like a first or a second. I mean, that's a move Cardinals should make, but
Yeah.
it's nice because we don't have to worry. Rams and Niners can't make those trades because they don't have any picks left. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
All
I
right.
like the Panthers' direction. I really do.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of these games this week. Aaron has a question in the chat. Aaron says, the Giants are underdogs this week against the Jags. Am I missing something? So no, you're not. It does look a little weird, but if you're new to betting, basically in football, the home team gets 3 points. So they're saying these teams are even because the Jags are favored by 3 at home. This is basically a pick'em game, but the Jags have home field advantage. Look, the Giants might be 5-1, but from a pure talent perspective, they have one of the worst units at almost every position. They just, their pass rushers are starting to get home, but Wake Martindale loves to blitz. I'll tell you why I like the Jags in a little bit. And I know everyone wants to ride the Giants right now, but I'll explain why. Johnny, what's your favorite game coming up this weekend?
Well, I mean, to make money on, I think I'm going to make money on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers steamrolling Carolina. And I think that spread when I got it today was 13.
It's at 13 now.
Yeah, swallow those points. Carolina cannot score. You want to make money.
What about from a watching perspective? Because that game's not going to be very fun to watch.
I want to watch Kansas City beat the shit out of the Niners in Santa Clara. Everybody thinks the Niners. I mean, listen, the Niners could win that game. When's the last time Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes lost back-to-back games? I think it'll be a fun, competitive game. I think Jimmy G will make that critical error in the fourth quarter that you love to see. Niners defense still isn't right, so that's the one I'm going to sit back. And it's great. We got a victory yesterday. I can put my feet up on Sunday, take these games in. You absolutely love to see. And I think the Seahawks are going to cover against the Chargers aren't going to cover against your Seahawks. I think that's going to be a one-possession game too.
Yeah. So talking about the Niners game, I originally had picked the Chiefs -2 on my bets that we'll give out in a bit. However, I thought about it, and I'm just going to live bet them. If the Chiefs go down at some point, I'm live betting the Chiefs. It's like the 2018 Warriors. They're down by 15 going into the third quarter at halftime.
Live it.
Hammer them. Eat the points. Hammer them. I feel the same way.
The other biggest crock of shit is people from San Francisco like, we're going to see if McCaffrey's going to be available. I don't know if he's going to play on Sunday night.
Jimmy G is 3-0. Jimmy G is 3-0 at home when he's an underdog. But Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose back-to-back games. So something's got to give. I'm staying away from that for now, but we'll talk about it in a bit. Let's go throw up Johnny's picks. Johnny, what do you like the most this weekend?
Patriots on Monday Night Football. And again, we're going to preview Monday Night Football on Monday. But this line's going to go up. This line may get to 10.5, no matter if it's Zappy Dew or Mac Jones. Bears are not going to score an offensive touchdown in this game. In Foxborough, you think Dirt Muskert Eberflus is going to put up points against Bill Belichick, who's on a hot streak right now, who's embarrassing teams. He is on a mission. Doesn't matter who their quarterback is. I'm not touching the over-under yet just because I'm a little concerned. Patriots might run up the score. Bucks -13. Again, same thing. The Rams looked awful last week at halftime. They were losing 10-7. They still covered -10. Now they lose Christian McCaffrey. The team is quitting. Darnold's trying to come back. Bucks are going to win by at least 15 to 16 points. I like the Jets money line. Listen, right now, the Denver Broncos, they're the biggest dumpster fire in the NFL. I think that goes without saying. How are they going to block Quentin Williams? Sauce Gardner is going to shut down Cortland Sutton. This defense is legitimate. I don't think Robert Saleh is a good coach, but I think perfect matchup for the Jets right now to get the outright victory. I mentioned it, Chiefs money line. I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes to lose 2 consecutive games to Jimmy G. And then how about this one? This is something that's kind of gone under the radar. I think we're going to see a comeback to earth.
I love this.
Couple of games for the Detroit Lions offense. This is a must win for Dan Campbell. I don't think he gets it. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about fraud Campbell and him getting fired after this year. The owners, she's already getting impatient. But if you think Jared Goff's going to go into Jerry World with the return of Dak Prescott and have a good game, you are outside of your mind. So
you know what? Obviously, everybody, like, you watch primetime with the Cowboys and you hear it a lot. But outside of watching actual games, Micah Parsons is unbelievable. Like, he's people talk about him a lot, but
this year.
Like, here's an instant win condition. If you're an NFL team, you go out and you draft 5 Micah Parsons, you'll win football games. How's that sound?
He's going to take. He's taking the mantle, a different position, but he's taking the mantle from Aaron Donald as the best defensive player in the NFL.
Yeah,
Watt had it for a while, then Aaron Donald had it, and now it's Micah Parsons.
All right, let's get up my picks for this weekend. So I talked about the Jags game briefly. I'm taking them -3, and it's because of what I said last week. Wink Martindale, the man loves to blitz a ton. However, Trevor Lawrence is incredible against the blitz in terms of his QBR, basically every stat. I think the Jags are not only able to pass on the Giants, but they're at home, and I think ETN goes crazy in this game. So I like the Jags -3. The G-men have to lose at some point, man. And then I'm taking the Seahawks +5.5 in LA against the Chargers. Seahawks love play action. Chargers secondary is banged up. I don't think they get enough pressure. I think Geno Smith has another 300+ yard day. Then give me the Colts money line. They lost to Stinger against the Titans a couple of weeks ago. They're in Tennessee, but this offense looks a lot better. Matt Ryan looks a little less cooked. So I'm taking their money line. It's now +120 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Atlanta Falcons, the covering Kings, 6-0 against the spread to start the year. The Bengals are frauds. They just are. I just do not think they're that good. And I think that the Falcons play the most cover 2 in the NFL. A lot of teams playing cover 2. This is the year of cover 2, but I'll get to the cover 2 in a bit with my props, but I like the Falcons in the spot. And the Tampa Bay, Carolina, I'm taking the under at 39.5. There's just Carolina might not score a single point. Tampa Bay is going to play some boring ball. Tom Brady still doesn't look very right. I could see them winning 21-3.
And then off that loss to the Steelers is just a perfect concoction of Brady's talking about, I'm coming back, I'm not retired. I think we're going to have a nice game from your boy Rachaad White, Leonard Fournette. They're going to control the clock. I think Rachaad White's going to score a rushing touchdown this week.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right,
it's going to be the ASU week of Sun Devil running backs.
Yeah, look great. Speaking of rushing touchdowns, Johnny Prop-wise, what do you like?
Johnny Prop-wise, listen, Matt Ryan back from the dead. We talk about it's Halloween's right around the corner. Zombies are walking all over the place. That's Matt Ryan. He's out he's out of the grave. He's out of the tombstone. He's fucking around and he's winning football games. And you see his passing numbers last week? 4 touchdowns. Hell yeah, Matt Ryan. He can have over 2 passing touchdowns against the Tennessee Titans. And then how about this? The runaway front runner to win the offensive rookie of the year, Breece Hall, anytime touchdown. I think we're going to get short field positions. You see what Austin Eckler did against this Bronco defense. I think Breece Hall is going to eat. I think he's going to have multiple touchdowns in this game. So if you want to tease that up on DraftKings, go ahead. And then a couple more props from your boy, or maybe that was my only prop. Yeah. Off the screen prop, I definitely like New England on Monday night. Well, no, I'll save that for Monday.
Yeah, we'll save that for Monday. Well, actually, what were you going to say? Because I have a take that you might want to get in on right now.
We'll give it. You tell me first.
Justin Fields' passing total is at 167. I'm hammering the under.
Yeah,
hammering the under. The man does not know how to throw against man defenses. He has one of the historically most the highest non-catchable ball throw rate in the NFL. It's insane. I think that secondary is going to eat, but I would get that line while you can. Take the under at 167. I think it might go down to 160 at some point before.
Jonnu Smith's going to have a big game. They finally realized how to use him. He's been there for 2 years. Belichick forgot he was on the team, and now he's making big explosive plays. He's got a great relationship with our guy Zappy Doo. Jacoby Myers. I like their receiving core more. Like they're hitting at this 10 a.m. kickoff time. Nobody's watching the Patriots but us because we're degenerates before Cardinal games, and they got some fun skill players.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at my props. Here we go. Got 4 of them. Many men, Mr. Brian Robinson, taking his under. I'm sorry. Taking his under 53.5. I think they're going to play from behind a lot. He also has he looked feisty last week, but he, from a advanced stats metric wise, he's bottom tier in expected yards per carry. It's just, it might be that offensive line, but I don't know. I'm taking his under.
He didn't look as explosive as the other backs last week.
No, I'm taking his under at 53.5 rushing yards, but at back, I'm all in on a guy I was all in on to start the year. And finally, James Robinson can go hang out on the sidelines. Give me Travis Etienne over 51.5 rushing yards. I like his over on receiving yards as well. I think that's only at 15. As I said, Wink Martindale is going to blitz the living hell out of ETN and Mr. Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence. I think that ETN's going to burst through, have a couple big runs, easily get to 51.5 rushing yards. And then Burrow, this is what I was talking about with the cover 2. They're going to sit in that too high shell the entire game, the Falcons are. I think the Bengals might burst through a couple times, but it won't be with big run or big pass plays. I think it'll have to be with mix and runs or, just dinks and dunks. Joe Burrow has to figure out what worked with Patrick Mahomes a couple of years ago against cover 2 and just take what's in front of him. The only way this dies is if Jamar Chase has an otherworldly run against on a drag route or something, but I'm taking under 37 as long as completion. And then Jalen Waddle, my boy, Alabama boy, favorite guy, give me his over 59.5 receiving yards. I think that with Tua back, Mike McDaniel is going to get back to his ways, scheming receivers open across the middle of the field. All it takes is one big burst. Give me that over. Sebastian asking, should I drop Melvin Gordon for Deontay Foreman? Yes, get Melvin Gordon and might not see the field again. Or Chuba.
He's the starter now. I just picked him up in our league. Daddy just picked him up.
Wow.
Daddy actually had James Conner active last night.
Watch our fantasy show every Thursday at 3 p.m. Yeah. Guys, there's somebody that nobody is talking about in the NFL that you can get that's only available in 3% of leagues on ESPN. You know who that is?
Who?
Running back in the NFC West. That's on the IR. Kyron Williams. He's coming back. He is going to start. He's going to take Darrell Henderson's spot. I'm calling it right now.
No, I have Darrell.
I'm calling it right now.
What's new with Cam, our guy Cam? Cam's looking good.
Where were you yesterday, fantasy people? There were no questions in our chat on our fantasy show.
These are my fans. I wasn't on the show. That's why I did 4 shows yesterday. They were all there.
They're all your fans for your 1-5 team. 6-0, 2-on right here.
No, they're just my fans of me. That's
I think I'm forgetting something. My DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. Give it to me. Julius Randle, come on, over 34.5 PRA, -110. They're at home playing the Detroit Pistons. They're 7-point favorites. I think
get some help.
Smashes through this from downtown. Julius Randle.
Where's that gambling 1-800 number? We need that for my friend.
Stop it. DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week. Julius Randle over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
If you don't know how much of a degenerate gambler Shane is, in the studio last night, we have 3 TVs. There's an NBA game on, there's an NHL game on, there's a Cardinal game on. He has action in all 3 of them, feverishly checking his phone on DraftKings. This is what he does. This is what we do for a living.
I would have had big if the Tage Thompson goal didn't get disallowed.
Oh man.
That's all I'm saying.
I can't wait to talk about the Nets and the Lakers next week, but it's time for football.
Yeah. Phoenix Suns in action tonight. Make sure to watch the Suns post-game and pre-game show. Big game today. Hopefully they can, maybe not fall behind. Let's see if Chris Paul.
The Kings of the regular season, babe.
What?
They're the Kings of the regular season.
I thought you called me babe for a second.
I did.
Oh, you did? Wow.
They're the Kings of the regular season.
Aaron asking if that's my Deef and Lock. No, my Deef and Lock is coming out on Instagram tomorrow around 10 a.m. So
yeah. I had my DraftKings pick of the week 2 days ago.
What was it?
Something about D-Hop, and I'm sure hit because he's elite.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. We are here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel every Monday through Friday at noon. What? You can't just laugh. Well, I don't want to. Okay.
Yeah, Zane's inappropriate in the comment. Zane, that's good
also,
for you, my man.
On the DraftKings Sportsbook app, UFC 280, I believe. Tomorrow, it's in Abu Dhabi. Get your picks in tonight because I always forget if you want to bet on the UFC and it's in Abu Dhabi, you have to get them in the night before because you'll wake up at 11 a.m. and somebody's already getting knocked out. Got a big card tomorrow. Sean O'Malley's fighting Peter Yan. Obviously, the headlining of Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira. Super excited for that. If you guys want picks on that and you're a member, head into the Discord and let me know, and I will do my best to get you some money on that. But until then, we're live every Monday through Friday right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Shane D. If you can follow Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Venerable. Follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_bets and follow PHNX_sports across all socials, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Have some fun enjoying football this weekend. And remember, peace, love, and Julius Randle PRA is back, baby.